Hey YouTube, it's Cantaloupa. If you want more MotoAmerica content, check out the new and vastly improved MotoAmerica Live Plus app. It's the only place you can catch all the race action in one place all season long. Click the link in the description below.
So you're not so much on the edge of the tire.
We'll take a look at how they will line up. Once everybody makes their way to the starting grid, it will be Alessandro Di Mario on that pole position alongside his teammate Gus Rodeo, Rocco Landers rounding out the front row.
Yeah, Chris Parrish there, 7th. Great qualifier for him. Jack Roach, great to see him back again this weekend there on the wrench racing bike in 9th.
And on row number 4, you see Avery Dreyer. He's the champion in the Junior Cup, making his move up here to Twins this season, as well as you've got Trevor Standish, another name familiar coming up through the ranks. You've got Ned Brown, Joseph Bittner, and Giacomo Manera rounding out row number 6.
See Jeffrey Pert there inside row 7. Good qualifying for him. And you just see all the names throughout that list there. Rodney Vest, great to see him out there this weekend. We had a really full field.
He's not going to take the start as the flag marshal moves to the left-hand side. Red lights are on. Lights are going to go off in a second. And Jamie, Roger, we are racing.
Yes, the entire field has now left their grid positions. Alessandro Di Mario getting a great start. Rocco Landers settling down into line as we are now under a race pace here in the rain at Barber Motorsports Park. Roger.
Yeah, great start for Alessandro Di Mario there from pole position there, and this is going to be the guys they're going to be able to really see what the track is like. You see Rocco there in 2nd. Dominic Doyle there was 4th coming out of turn 1. And you see the spray. We've talked a lot about it.
Alessandro Di Mario has the cleanest shot of anybody as you just see how slick it is as they go into the corner. Rocco Landers falling back. Certainly not as comfortable as some of the other riders around him that are able to make up some ground.
And Avery Dreyer, he has had a first great lap for him, and Dominic Doyle. Both those two guys are up there 2nd and 3rd.
Remember in that familiarization session that we did have, Avery Dreyer was the one that was pushing it the most. So
see these guys, they're pushing, they're slipping and sliding. That's also in the rain as well. You got to kind of be careful. You don't want to get caught up in somebody else's little mishap as well.
Alessandro Di Mario still with clean in front of him. It is Dominic Doyle behind him in 2nd place right now. He's got just enough of a gap that he doesn't have too much of that spray coming off. But look at Avery Dreyer making a look, seeing if he can go ahead and slot himself into that 2nd place on the podium.
Yeah, Avery looks super confident going around guys on the outside. We've seen him in that warm-up or that 7-minute track familiarization, being 4 seconds quicker than everybody else, and just look at him cutting
and
through
now
the
he just
tide.
goes to the lead.
A great first lap for Avery Dreyer, and I was about to talk about the guy in 4th place, but he's now on the floor, and that is Sean Varsky. He's had a couple of years away from racing, and he was having such a good start, and unfortunately he ends in the gravel, but it's now Avery Dreyer that has taken over at the front. Dominic Doyle doing well.
On the left-hand side of your screen, and you can see him go down right there in the back of that frame. Didn't make it all the way over to the gravel, but certainly accumulated a lot of grass in getting into that position. Let's just go back to the front of the field. You see Avery Dreyer now with that gap that he has on Alessandro Di Mario and Dominic Doyle on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. And remember, he's making this move up into the BellissiMoto Twins. And just as quickly as that for Sean Varsky, he was right there in the mix with this group that is much more comfortable in these conditions, it would seem, as we see another rider that is down right now. And I think that's Giacomo Manera that Michael was just talking about. And when you go off in these conditions, Roger, it's not as easy as just hopefully picking the bike back up. You see how hard that rain is coming down on portions of the racetrack. The grass around is so slick and everything is so muddy, it just gets sucked up into the bike.
Yeah.
And Avery Dreyer continues to build this gap. Dominic Doyle is right there on the back of Alessandro Di Mario as we have another rider that is now down. That is Eddie Kay.
Looks like that turn 2 area.
Parts of the track where it's not raining, the spray is not nearly as bad. And to your point mentally, Roger, and having to manage all of the conditions that are around here,
that's the tough part, and that's what, you know, you see riders sliding out. You forget where you're at, or you forget about a puddle. You can end up on the ground, and it's tricky. It's really tricky out there in the wet. Last lap, Avery Dreyer was a 47.8, and Alessandro DeMario 48.0. So he's a couple tenths quicker. Separated that gap just a little bit, but not a lot. 1 second in the rain can be made up pretty fast.
I believe this is this Romeo Chiavini that has gone off as well. So riders are certainly pushing. They're trying to find the limit. We only have 4 laps remaining in this 7-lap shortened rain race. There's another look at what happened just a moment ago. Just pushed that line just a little too much, Roger. And one thing that we didn't consider in the spray and in the visibility issues could potentially be glare.
And I think Cassidy Heiser Dominic Doyle made a little mistake there into turn 5 and was able to get himself in that last podium spot. You know, be really fast in the drive, but also looks like he slid out. Leader's down.
And Alessandro DeMario pushed it just a little too much, and now in the gravel trap as he attempts to get that bike picked out from the race lead.
Yeah, and that's the rain. You just stepped out so fast. There was nothing he could do to save it. Once it comes around that quick, the track there, as you see, it kind of goes away a little bit, and it just stepped out so quick. There was nothing he could do. And
he's also going to see the white flag now flying as we are on the final lap of this 7-lap battle in these tricky conditions for Avery Dreyer. But we just saw moments ago for Alessandro DeMario how quickly it can all go away. For him, he doesn't have anybody right behind him. There is no pressure.
Just has to hit his marks, try to avoid the parts of the track that's really slick. You see him here, he was backing it in quite a bit early on in the race. This lap toward the end, keeping it smooth, pretty much the wheels in line. And for Avery, just, you know, he is a Junior Cup champion, so he's a really smart young rider.
Yes, he certainly has brought all of that experience with him, and said that it was just time. It's time for him to make the move up. It's time for him to prove what he's capable of doing, and part of that is in these mixed conditions. We don't know what the weather is going to be when we go from venue to venue, but being able to show that he's here and he's ready and he's going to push himself to the challenge each time, that's what champions do.
And he's had some challenges going back and forth between Twins Cup and Junior Cup, and you can just see that, you know, the fighter that he is, just keeping his head down, starting to figure it out, and you know, he only has a little less than half a lap to go.
He did have a podium finish back in the first race at Daytona where he finished 3rd. So this would potentially, could he bring it home, be a 2nd podium of the season, but it would be his first win in Twins Cup. This really goes back to that familiarization session, Roger, where he was the first and really one of the only riders that pushed it a little bit. We saw him hitting the marks and going through. As you see his fists up in the air, telling the team, I did it. He takes the checkered flag, and Avery Dreyer has now won his first BellissiMoto Twins Cup race, and it comes here in the rain at Barber Motorsports Park.
Yeah, what a great ride by him. Look, he's kind of shaking his head like, man, I can't believe I just won this.
Take a look at the overall results here for race number 1 at Barber Motorsports Park. You see Avery Dreyer, the top of the charge, Cassidy Heiser, Dominic Doyle. We'll hear from them down